Well, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Cakers. Bridget and I are on a hike, and we are where Bridget photographed that thing I did a video about. That was all black, and we saw it on the other side of the swamp as it walked away on two legs and went onto posted property, onto a farm field. Well, that's where we are right now, and we're gonna be approaching the side that this thing was on when we saw it. So I will show you guys where we encountered it and which way it went, because we are on location of the very place of where that happened. Out there is the swamp, you guys, and it's really low because we're in a drought right now. We haven't had rain in almost 2 weeks, and everything's getting really dry. But we were way over on the other side of this swamp. I'll have to walk a little further because we are over here looking across. And once we get up around this bend, this is Bluebird Field that I was telling you guys about. And it went off in that corner where I'm pointing, and it went onto posted property because on the other side of this row of trees right here is a big cornfield owned by a farmer that lives next door. And it went through the woods and it continued on to his farm field. And so I'm going to show you guys where we encountered it, or where we saw it when we were on the other side. And then I zoomed in, I got some footage of it, and it literally, you guys, looked like it was shape-shifting, and I cannot understand that and I cannot explain that. But when Bridget and I saw it and Bridget photographed it, I'll put the photo again in this video of what Bridget captured. And it was black from head to foot, and I saw its back as it was walking away to get around this brush right here. Now, I don't know how well you will be able to see, but the water comes right up to here. Right up to here, that's where the water starts, and you can see how marshy it is out there, and that is deep and full of muck. And this thing came through here, disappeared behind this large shrub, came in out into here where we could get a clear view of it from across. I can find the building from this side and I could zoom in. Boy, everything's grown over so much. Here, I'll zoom in where you guys can see where we were at, looking over here. That building, right there. That's where we were at, looking this way. So we were over there looking this way. It came through there, behind these trees right here, and this is severely overgrown than the spring when we were here and saw it. Everything was lower, and it went out there into the water, and there is a big tree out there that it grabbed around with its arms, and then it backtracked and came up to this opening right here. Right here is where it left, and as it came through here, it walked right out here, right out into the open, and it disappeared through the corner of Bluebird Field right there, just past the lean-to, and it went into the woods and disappeared. And that's posted property over there beyond those trees. And this is where it came from. And we're gonna hike all around this swamp, through the woods, and we're gonna go all the way around and come out on the other side. It's a long hike. It isn't that great of a distance where you couldn't see something that big. And both of us saw it. I got some video of it, and Bridget took the picture, and it went right off here in the corner of these woods, because there is another trail on that side that comes around Bluebird Field and hooks up with the trail we're on. The one we just came from behind here, it looks like a road. This is an actual trail, but they also use this here on this property to do the things they have to do to maintenance things here. And so that trail comes around down here past this lean-to and it went right there into the cornfield. And matter of fact, the cornfield right now has corn stalks that are over 6 feet tall. And I'll show you guys over here where it went. Okay, here's where the other trail comes out to, right here, and there's the lean-to. So you got a trail that goes around all along the trees at the perimeter of the property on one side of Bluebird Field, and we were walking on the swamp side of Bluebird Field, and this all goes right down between the trails. And right here is where the thing walked right into the neighboring cornfield. And I'll go through here to show you guys, because this on the other side is posted property, and there is the cornfield it walked into, leaving this property that we're on. This is the property line right here for this nature preserve, and that's where we're at, is a very large nature preserve. Yeah, and there was a doe right here before we got to the other side, so that would have had enough time for that deer to leave long before that thing came about. So we're going to do the whole hike around this place. We got snacks and drinks with us, bug spray, bear spray, everything. Of course, I've never seen a bear down here ever, and I've hiked this throughout the years many times. But this would be a cool place if it was allowed. You can't be here after dark. This place is open from sun up to sundown. But if you could be here at night and be over on one of the lookout towers that have right at the edge of the swamp on the other side, and use my night vision binoculars to scan this entire property, this massive swamp that we're going to be hiking around, I can only imagine what you'd possibly see at night down here. Because this place is thickly forested with lots of acreage here. And beyond this property going north, there's no homes. Nobody lives there, and it's hundreds of acres big. Hundreds. And there's no homes there because it's all marsh and swampland. There's no way you can build anything on it. So things come here from all directions, and who knows what you'd see. But it is a beautiful place to hike. We got a long ways to go through all those woods over there. And that's where it's really thickly forested. And if you look on this side, for as far as that land goes, for at least a good 5 miles, there is nothing back there for 5 miles. Just nothing but swampland all the way back there. So it's a very big place. Stuff like this that I find interesting when I'm in the woods, because you can see that the tree is busted off up there, but from there down, all the bark has been pulled off of this. And these are just some things that I wonder, you know, like what did that? The bark just doesn't fall off like that, because it's really on there, even up there. But I don't see any claw marks from a bear. Something that would strip this off and be able to reach way up there to create such a pile down here at the bottom. It's just stuff like that that just could be natural, but being that I don't know, I just find things like this in the woods interesting. That's all. You know, you guys, a place like this would be the last place that either of us would expect to see what we saw that day. And we may never see anything like that ever again. I don't know. But this is the place where we saw it. And I would have never expected to see anything like that here, because this place is a learning center for children. Lots of people come here to hike. You're not allowed to walk any dogs here. They don't allow dogs or anything. But they have a lot of trails here that you can hike, and a full learning center at the administrative building. And there is a ton of acreage here. And so to see that thing on that day when we were down here, it was so out of place, very out of place. And it really kind of took me back to think that something like that could show up in an area like this. But I guess things can happen anywhere at any time. But we don't let that stop us from coming here, because it's a beautiful place. And I encourage people to get out into nature and make the most out of life, and get exercise, improve your health, get away from the internet, your smartphone and TV, and get out into fresh air and out amongst nature. You'll sleep better, you'll feel better, you'll have a better appetite, and you'll really feel like you've done something worthwhile with your time. I truly believe that is very, very important. Go ahead. Okay, we're going to turn left right here. There's Bluebird Field, and this is where we came in from. And what we saw was here, and it went this way at an angle. And we now have hiked all around this, and we are now here, and we're going to this building right here. This has always been my favorite overlook. And this is what overlooks this entire swamp. Watch your step, hon. Feels like they shored it up a little better, doesn't it?
It's not wobbly like last time.
Yeah, it was pretty wobbly before. Yeah. Okay. See, there's someone over at Blue Heron Overlook. That's where we were. Man, this place is massive. Whew. That wore me out climbing up here. That's why we got to get into hiking again. We're getting out of shape. What a beautiful place. God knows what could live out there and roam around. This thing is up high. Really up high.
Don't look down.
Yeah, we were only looking over 1/3 of the swamp when we were over at the Blue Heron Overlook where those people are. And then we saw over there. That's not even 1/3, that's probably like 1/4. So, wasn't that big of a distance, but I'll zoom in and I'll show you guys where we were when we saw it. That building right there. And when we were at that building, we saw it right over in there. And then it went around to there before it backtracked and went into the woods. That's all the further we were away, is that building right there. So I'd probably say 200 feet at least is all the further we were away. Now had we been here on this thing, we're much further away. We're directly across from it. Though I would have seen it, we wouldn't have had as good of a visual on it as we otherwise did at the Blue Heron Overlook. So where it went after it went into the cornfield, I have no idea. You know, you guys, I've been on the fence regarding the subject of quote-unquote Bigfoot all my life, but when you see something you can't deny, it leaves you not knowing what to think. Pretty crazy. But you never know what you're going to see when you're up here overlooking this entire swamp. It's weird to think we're literally walking on top of a swamp. It's all water beneath our feet. Ready for a break yet?
Yeah, anytime you are.
All right, we'll take a break up here. Yeah, my knee is starting to bother me a little bit. Oh, I guess we'll take a break right here on this bench. Oh, place to sit. See if we see or hear anything here. It's pretty quiet. Well, you guys, we're gonna head back home. Thanks for coming along with us, and we'll see you all again in the next one. Bye-bye.